my frustration with random crits aside, I do think it's genuinely cool that you have, like, a full-on duel fight as part of a Confidant. It's quite similar to the one from Futaba's, but still. So today we actually have both a train read and an in-class reading session, so we can actually, like, get through two things at once, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish Reckless Casanova. This is a little annoying, though, because it means that I'm not able to buy the book by the time the next read comes around, so I would otherwise be able to, you know, read the technical conditions book. Instead, though, I think I can read Learn Pro Darts instead.
Oh.
I said instead twice. Yeah, more like a shameless pervert than a stud. Who does that remind you of, Morgana? And don't say Ryuji. Morgana's like, I wish I understood the subtle nuances of sex appeal.
Hi, everyone.
Ah, yes, once again we get that line.
Well,
I'm not even sure who voices her, but whoever does it is amazing. Okay, so free time, as I said, I mean, I could make infiltration tools, but I'm gonna read instead and get through, let's see what I've got here. Yeah, nothing else seems particularly interesting. Let's go for Learn Pro Darts.
nice.
I also need to read Game Secrets, but I'll have plenty of time to do that
Oh.
later. Once again, like, why is the cover of this a fashion magazine?
All right.
So this lets you use Third Eye while playing darts, which will slow down time and make it easier to aim.
Ah. Damn it. Yep.
And yes, blah blah blah, free time, blah. So remember I said earlier with Futaba that there was a way that I'd be able to make up time with her, but it would suck for this particular playthrough? Well, today we're supposed to be maxing out Priestess, but instead I could go for Futaba and put off Priestess rank 10. Which kind of means that I got ahead on Priestess for nothing earlier. Meanwhile though, the perp is somewhere in Tokyo?
Hey.
Actually we kind of do. Okay, yeah, Futaba is specifically requesting us, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take her up on that offer. I am so sorry, Makoto, but maybe it's a little more fitting to get Makoto's ultimate persona before the heist as opposed to before the actual palace. I have double hermit personas, but I'm not gonna be getting like a double bonus for this. Let's hang out. The thing is, though, that I'm going to be getting back on track with all of my confidants by getting back on track with Hermit, and then I'm probably going to be getting behind on 2 confidants again, because of the way that I want to do things soon.
Thanks.
That was a pretty soft-spoken thanks. Did something happen? Town in Kansai, okay, then maybe she has the accent and everything, or not? Yet more gambling addiction, like, weren't the Takases doing that too? It's just, yeah, Persona 5, with all of that, and then the Casino Palace, Persona 5 definitely really hates gambling. So, yeah, this kind of thing, I believe, is a reference to gravure idling. It's something that is done in Japan, especially with underage idols sometimes, usually involving risque outfits, and, Yeah, I think they actually recently did. I didn't mention this all the way back in Persona 4 when I did Risei's Dungeon in that game, but I think they have tightened up laws in Japan to try and discourage that. I don't know how effective it's been. But yeah, she's posted on the fan site too. Although without names, we can't really do much. Doxing, because that's your solution to everything. Oh, okay then. Well, that's actually not as bad. The funny thing is, I actually found something like that relatively, like, recently, as in, like, a few years ago or something. I did find, like, there was an address book of, like, all of the parents of the, because I guess, you know, parents of students often need to know the other parents' phone numbers. So, yet again, we have Futaba making a personal request of us in Mementos. I don't know why Futaba is the only party confidant, unless you count Akechi, that has a Mementos request. But for some reason, it's just her.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, here we go. Now, treasure reboots actually are kind of a hilarious ability because due to an oversight, it's possible for this to activate when Futaba isn't even present. And if that happens, you still get her navigator quotes for it activating, which is kind of silly. Yeah, horrible parenting and also probably, like, you know, outright illegal... I don't even want to say what it is because YouTube would probably demonetize me for it, but yeah, you get what I'm trying to say.
Bye now.
Ah, you're back.
And so with that, tonight we are going to be actually doing another rank up. I don't know why I accidentally went to Kanda.
Wow, are you serious?
It was a complete waste of money, but we're here now. Yeah, let's talk to Mishima. Well, yeah, you're too busy fanning all of the flame wars on your website.
Come on, let's get going. Sorry.
I should also mention that if you are following a guide, or even if not, I would recommend don't skimp on Mishima's confidant at this point. Because we are approaching a part of the story where, like, when I was playing this as a test run, Mishima just kind of disappeared for a while, and I really panicked thinking that I'd screwed up on ever completing his confidant. I didn't, but you do lose access to Mishima as the plot progresses, in a few weeks. So as is typical with this game, the bully is being bullied themselves. Wait, we're involved in this now? Oh no, don't tell me that he threw Mishima under the bus. Unfortunately, it's not like we can just instantly go to Mementos and take down these guys' shadows. We're gonna have to think fast on how to get out of this situation. Well, that doesn't sound good. Oh boy, that bluff didn't work.
What the hell?
What? Looks like the second bluff actually did work. Yeah, I mean, if we just deleted them now, then, you know, we'd have nothing on them. That was actually pretty smart, though. No. Yeah. I suppose you kind of do have superpowers even in the real world. Alls, we should probably attend to that guy there who just got beaten up. Nothing new from this rank up. But I think for the next one, we are going to need to complete a request in Mementos. I mean, you know, sometimes not abandoning your enemies when they're in danger might get them to change their opinions on you.
Sorry.
It's kind of funny, I recently saw the Aquaman film on TV, and yeah, that kind of is a point of his character development at the start of the film. He ends up making somebody his arch enemy just by abandoning, Anyway, I don't want to explain, like, the whole plot of the early part of that film. I did actually enjoy it, though. I thought it was pretty decent.
Oh.
Of course, I'm not always saying, you know, because sometimes some people
Well,
will,
see you
you know,
later.
betray kindness, so you've just got to be careful, but... you just gotta, you know, I would say pick your battles, but it's kind of the opposite of battles. Yeah, I feel like that at this point he was just running on pure adrenaline and he probably would just break down after it all. But I mean, he did really, really well. Yeah, you got this. Just, again, maybe try not to get arrested for, like, pointing a gun at someone. Yeah, he's gonna have to mod it pretty hard thanks to how things are going lately. But yeah, some of Mishima's ranks are kind of decent, I'll admit. Oh, okay, so this time... we are going to be accepting this. I feel like, I've heard of Asakusa before, because I feel like, you know, the phrase Asakusa Jinja, which is, Jinja is shrine. I feel like that, rings a bell from my Japanese studies. I just always thought it sounded, it just sounded nice. Wow, yeah, it's a real festival here. So a kumade is a kind of rake. But the reason that we're doing this is because it actually gets us a room decoration, and when you see this one, it's gonna be kinda cool. Heavy, aren't they made of, like, just bamboo and paper? Oh yeah, there are those really huge ones that they put in houses. Yeah, everything always just comes back to that. Yeah, I'm sure that'd be cool. You seem to frequent a lot of the shrines. Yeah, don't mention that she's a former CEO's daughter. That's just gonna bring up bad memories. Prince Boring, yes. That should be our code name so that nobody suspects us. Haru's already had enough media harassment. I mean, she can be. Yeah, you haven't met her yet, have you? I regret that. I should have said she's my friend, because she is. I'm like, by that senpai in school thing, I was just trying to give info. I wasn't trying to claim that Joker doesn't see her as a friend or anything. Yes, especially when it comes to your boss, apparently.
I see.
Yeah, saying this gives a few more points for the Oya, too. Not that they're actually needed, because she's locked right now, thanks to her Mementos mission. Yeah, we have a lot of interesting acquaintances. She was kind of the reason that we got this far as the Phantom Thieves. We wouldn't have had info on Kaneshiro without her. Well, I mean, if we asked her to take a photo, then it probably would have been all over the news. So I'll definitely put that up because, yeah, I've been waiting for this one. There are a few potential times for you to get that room decoration.
Ah, you're back.
Well then.
Now, there actually should be a new Mementos mission unlocking somewhat soon. Okay, what's on the home shopping channel? Study. Okay, that's really good. Inner muscle sets. Yeah, no, I'd rather get the reflect items. They're probably going to be expensive, though. For what they are, that's not too expensive. I kind of read that as study ointment, not sturdy ointment. So, one thing you should know is that... Oh, I haven't even put up the balloons yet. That's another thing that you should know. We went through just so much crap to get those. But no, one thing you should know is that Kuma can also mean bear. Yep, it's a Teddy Kumade. I wonder if this is actually from Inaba. Maybe, like, lore-wise, they, yeah, and it seems like it does say New Year on it, so these are supposed to be traditional New Year decorations. Don't know why they're selling them now, but, yeah, maybe in Inaba, Teddy actually, Junes actually makes those. But yeah, it's a pun and an earlier game cameo. But now, I went to the wrong place. Oh well, while I'm here, I can talk to these two. No cat here this time, though. Okay, well, if he's following current events on the news, it means he probably hates the Phantom Thieves now. Crap. Here we are. Also, is anything new going on with you? Oh no, it's a police officer. Why is there a police officer? Oh no. Well, I already thought things were bad for this guy, but they're getting even worse. Oh, I suppose it's because of the Phantom Thief stuff, but yeah. Like, I don't remember when I used to see buskers, like, you know, people who dress up as statues or who, would, you know, sing at, like, the local wharf where I am. I just thought, oh, hey, can't anyone just do that and just get money for it? But, you do actually need to, like, my parents explained to me that you do actually need a permit for it. Also, the declining birth rate is actually a real issue in Japan.
Good evening.
But yeah, this is going to be the final rank up. So, we are going to be able to make this before the deadline.
Thank you. A weekly magazine reported that Kuramoto was the real culprit in the fund's misappropriation case.
So, I guess you didn't even need to go public about it, someone else did.
Old man Kuramoto will likely be forced to retire from the political world.
I mean, it sounds like he was really old anyway. So, I mean, he was probably close to that age.
The police can't do anything because it was 20 years ago. But he has a moral obligation.
I wonder if there was a statute of limitations on that kind of thing.
I hear his grandson Benzo resigned from the party as well.
Yeah, I feel like this kind of thing does happen a lot in Japan when one person gets into a scandal, the people connected to them also quit.
It could be due to Matsushida's influence, or perhaps it's just the party's way of atoning.
It is that, yeah, that whole idea of atoning.
Now it's all up to me and my abilities.
When's your speech gonna start, Tyranosuke? We can't wait!
So, I've always thought this line was kind of funny because the way it's pronounced makes him sound like a dinosaur.
To think that people would be excited to hear me speak. The article mentioned I didn't want the real culprit to be named, even though I knew who it was. Apparently, people admire me for having quietly accepted a false charge for 20 years.
Oh, I really hope Joker doesn't have to shoulder his false charge for that long.
I didn't intend for any of this to happen, though.
I don't know which of these I would say
I
here.
believe the most important thing is for the voters to know who I really am. I've struggled for the past 20 years, but I can put that all behind me after the election. Oh, look at the time. I should get started.
So, in terms of his namesake, Toranosuke could come from Torajiro Yoshida, an intellectual who influenced some activists during the Meiji Restoration, and it could also come from Shigeru Yoshida, one of Japan's longest-serving prime ministers and responsible for much of its reform after World War II.
Today will be the last day I'll request help from a phantom thief. I don't intend to meddle.
It's really just a formality at this point. He already knew since at least rank 8.
Everything I've told you has been based on assumptions, but if you're still willing to listen, then I think you should focus on your work, because the time is now. I can't think of anything else to teach you.
Yeah, now more than ever, the world needs them.
You are now an expert on giving speeches. I taught you all I know about the art of public speaking, in return for you supporting a guy like me. And over time, you became someone who shared my beliefs. Thanks to you, I was able to overcome my crisis these last few months. I will strive for the royal road of politics, thinking of you as you walk down your own path. But if you ever find yourself in harm's way on your journey, I will be there to help you.
And right now, more than ever, we need a politician on our side.
We'll be comrades who reform the world together.
I am thou, thou art I. Thou hast turned a vow into a blood oath. Thy bond shall become the wings of rebellion and break the yoke of thy heart. Thou hast awakened to the ultimate secret of the sun, granting thee infinite power.
All right. All right. Asura!
Asura is a 3-time returning Ultimate Persona from Persona 3. Much to my exasperation, as now I have to go into its very complicated history again. The Shin Megami Tensei Asura can represent multiple beings, and either it's a composite of all of them, or the franchise can't make up its mind which one. In Hindu mythology, Asuras are a class of divine being. In early texts, they encompassed a variety of demigods with both good and evil qualities, but later Vedic literature would refer to the benevolent ones as devas and the malevolent ones as asuras, and put them in a state of perpetual conflict. In Buddhism, asuras are powerful supernatural beings, sometimes demigods, sometimes non-divine titans, and are associated with negative worldly desires like wrath, envy, insecurity, and arrogance. In Japanese Buddhism, the strongest of them are referred to as Ashura or Asura Lord, and this is significant because that's the name of this persona in Japanese in several games. Asura's design here is heavily based in Japanese Buddhism, but its compendium descriptions and daily demon showcase video for Shin Megami Tensei 5 lean more towards the Hindu interpretation, and making things even more complicated is some SMT games link Asura to Zoroastrianism, being originally the supreme good figure Ahura Mazda demonized into an Asura. Others say this is a specific Asura king from Hindu mythology, Mahavirokana, who's claimed to be associated with light and fire, which fits the Sun Arcana. And back in Shin Megami Tensei 1, Asura was the leader of the Chaos Alignment. Ultimately, this Asura could represent any one of these beings, and that's not even getting into Strange Journey equating it with Ashera. And to escape all that headache, I'm going to explain his gameplay now. Asura's trait is Atomic Hellscape, reduces cost of outclassed by Lucifer, you get the idea. He can only be made by special fusion, though thankfully he doesn't require any other ultimate personas, just Zorcho-ten, Jikoku-ten, Kormoku-ten, and Bishamon-ten. He sports 2 immunities as well as 1 weakness that can easily be covered at high levels. A decent stat build favouring strength and endurance, but a heavily magic-focused learn set. In the original P5, he was one of the only personas to get Atomic Flare. There are other ways to get it in Royal, including by skill card, and he doesn't have Nuke Boost or Nuke Amp, though those can easily be passed to him. Mahamon isn't great, but Auto Mataru is a great skill. But the real highlight is Unshaken Will, granting immunity to mental ailments. Not as ridiculous as it was in Persona 4, which only had 1 non-mental ailment, but it still blocks all of the most deadly ailments in the game. This has been Asura's signature skill in the Persona series, and interestingly, in the vanilla game, several other Personas, including Orochi, learn this by level up, but Royal changed it so that only Asura does. It can still be inherited though, and there is an accessory that grants this, though it requires you to be ridiculously good at the batting cages. Speaking of items, Asura itemizes into Vajra or Unparalleled Vajra, Makoto's ultimate physical weapon. Overall, Asura is relatively easy to fuse for an ultimate persona, and he's worth getting for Unshaken Will and Atomic Flare alone.
I'm sure you will accomplish everything you set out to do. Thank you for everything. All right, it's time to begin.
It's speech time. This one's actually fully voiced.
Yoshida's speech is about to start.
I cut my date short so I could watch this, you know?
Does anyone out there have something they aspire to do? I met a certain young man. Through a method that differs from mine, he was trying to reform the world. As you know, that is a very large mountain to cross. Unfortunately, I am unable to travel the same path as him. However, I will not say goodbye, because we will surely meet at the peak. He is desperately doing what he aspires to do. So I encourage you all, please find what it is that you aspire to do, and I will support you. Because that is what I aspire to do.
Way to go, Tyranosuke!
And there it is, that's the dinosaur line.
I believe in you!
This just makes this is like actually one of my favorite ranked teams in Persona 5, and that's really saying something. But tomorrow, I think we'll be going into... Either way, we'll be going into a dungeon. Ah, here we go. Okay, we are going to be getting this in time. Banks in the finance sector. Well, hopefully no one related to Kaneshiro. Never pays back his loans. Involved in organized crime. Wait a minute. Wasn't this just Kaneshiro and you're getting this really late? It would have been kind of hilarious if this actually was just Kaneshiro. And we're like, oh wait, you already dealt with him. Changing his name and appearance, though. The man of 100 faces. Yeah, 3 guesses what his shadow is going to turn into. Yeah, currently going by that, this actually leads to something kind of interesting, because you need a name in order to find someone either in Mementos or in a palace. And how does it work for somebody who uses a lot of aliases like this? There we go, man of many faces and deaths. Oh, and also, yeah, everyone hates us now.
No.
And like, I think like the writing under that just says poop. Before we head into the dungeon though, today has a 7 in it, so we can try for another prize from this. Come on, Lucky Claw Grip Strength.
Okay.
I have not actually failed any of these before, but you are actually able to fail these. It's kind of unlikely, but it's still possible. Okay, I am 3 for 3 on these.
Nice.
Not sure how I feel about getting the security mascot at this point in time. Can see that post there with the wah there. Also, one more thing I should have done a while ago. Now that I've read everything here,
Welcome.
we can now get this guy's greatest treasure, Knowing the Heart. Very expensive, but it only requires 1 session to read, and it's probably worth it, I'd say. Unfortunately, I'm not going to quite have time to finish this before going into the dungeon, but it's going to be good to have for later. And before we go in, I'm going to get both a money reading and a celestial reading to raise the old diffusion alarms. Yeah, it's fitting that it's strength, because not only is strength the arcana for special treatment, it's also the arcana of the Velvet Attendants, and it also means, you know, things are going to get broken in fusion. This is one of the few ways you can trigger a fusion alarm in the real world. But that'll be for next time, because that's when we'll be heading into Sire's Palace. I'm going a little off script in the guide. The guide goes to Mementos first, but I don't want to get over-leveled and ruin the palace. So I'll see you next time for the Casino of Envy.